I'm joined now in studio with Dr. Rodney Ridley, Director of the Engineering and Physics Department here at Wilkes University. How are you, Dr. Ridley?
All right, how are you, man?
I'm doing all right. What's happening in Bangladesh right now that has been setting challenges in getting this trip off the ground?
Well, over the past few weeks, we've learned that there has been what we've termed, for lack of a better phrase, civil unrest in the country, based on a lot of historical events surrounding the Islamic and Hindu factions that are over there, and there have been strikes and other things to protest. I think there were sentencing of I think it was the Hindu party that was being sentenced for what they considered to be war crimes. And so there was civil unrest around that. There were protests and marches and strikes that were serving to cause issues when they were unfolded.
You don't send students right into a battleground.
Well, we didn't really understand what the battleground was.
Yeah.
And I think we have a little bit better understanding of what you termed the battleground. I think we have a better understanding of what that is, and it's not so much a battleground as it is a chance for the citizens to express themselves. And when you have such a large number of citizens that are expressing themselves, things can occur. You know, things that you would rather not have students walking into if you did not have to have them walking into that. I think we've since understand where those things are occurring, and it's not occurring everywhere. The strikes and the incidents are isolated to specific regions, specific cities, and it turns out that they don't have anything to do with where we were planning to send the students. They were sort of up north, and we're sending them south.
So it's more of a false alarm,
yeah,
basically.
Sort of. But you better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry.
That's true. How did Wilkes University get involved with this trip?
The trip actually came through our Doctor of Education program. We have a Doctor of Education program. One of our satellite campuses or satellite programs is in Oman, Muscat, Oman. And one of the doctoral students in that program, Ty Fredrickson, is the catalyst for this program. His family, him and his wife and his son, part of his Doctor of Education thing is outreach, is education, obviously, and he has a program that he was doing in Bangladesh, trying to help this remote village in Gush Kandi. The statement that he made to us was that he was really, Gush Kandi, which is the village that we're sending the students to, is really, when you look at it you look it up, it's actually a fourth world country. It's rated as a fourth world country, which means it doesn't really have any infrastructure. And so what Ty was trying to do is, it's difficult to get teachers to come to a fourth world country. And he knows that education is the key to unlocking that country and the citizens there. But how do you get teachers to come there to teach these people in the village? So what his thought was is maybe I can get the villagers somehow to get out to where the teachers are. And strange as it may sound, he knows that there was cell phone signal there. So his thought was, maybe I can get these people on the internet somehow.
Yeah.
And if I get them to the internet, you can go anywhere. You can come to Wilkes. Come to any school you want to, pretty much, because any school you can think of has some internet presence.
That's true.
You can, if I can get them on the internet, I can unlock, the key to education for these students. The problem you have is, I got a cell phone tower and a signal, but I got no power.
No power.
Right, so I can buy them a cell phone, but once the battery dies, how do I recharge the battery? I have no way of recharging the battery. I have no way of getting the infrastructure needed to have an online school, if you will. So when we got the call, I actually got the call through our Vice President for Strategic Initiatives, Dr. Mike Speziale, who was who was Dean of the Education Program at the time. He brought it to us and said, can you help my friend, our student, who's a Wilkes student, bring this project to life? And initially the thought was, he just asked us, how do we get power to this remote village in a sustainable way? And after we actually talked to him and we started hearing what he was trying to do, he's an education major, he's not an engineer. So we started listening to what he was trying to do, and my thought was, wow, this would make a great, what we call senior project, a capstone experience, where I can get a team of my engineering students who are seniors together to put them to, my edict to them was, and they'll tell you this was, I want them to create the infrastructure that is needed to have these students get online.
Oh, wow.
And I want them to, whatever infrastructure you come up, has to really be drop shipped there onto the ground, and has to be simple enough that it is going to work and be reliable all the time. And it has to be, it can't be really complicated because, again, most of the population there is not going to be super educated in the sophisticated technology that it might take to do this. So that was the edict to them, and they actually developed a system using a shed and some solar panels and some other things to get these students to be online.
Oh, wow.
So they created the system, and we tested it here. We actually tested it on the roof of a building here to make it isolated in the wintertime, to put it under some stressful conditions. And we've now drop shipped it there. Now the test is to send the students over to build it, put it together, make sure it's tested and reliable and set up over there. And that's where the disconnect happened, that we haven't been able to send the students over there yet. So the materials are there.
They have all the parts.
They have everything there. They just haven't had our students to come over to set it up. And the sort of running thing between me and the students is, if they can say hello to me on the internet, from over there, that's an immediate A for them. So
that's incredible. So basically what you're doing with this project is tying, I know in communication studies we have this theory about the global community, global village. What you're doing is connecting this fourth world nation, as you said, to that global village that is the internet and education. And I think that sounds really neat.
Yeah, I think the students, many of them have said, and we also have a running joke that this project has gone beyond the grade, that we're really now affecting the lives of people, and we're really, with something like this is the beginning of something that, if we do it right, could be duplicated anywhere.
It could.
Could really change the world.
You could, yeah. You're making strides at connecting the world in general. I think this trip sounds unbelievable. Now, what are the living conditions in Bangladesh that you expect in where you're located? Obviously, it's away from the civil unrest and.
Right. It's what we term a remote village, and there are very few roads, if any. There's no water, running water, no infrastructure. None of the modern conveniences that we think of and that we're used to. They have none of that there. They have a small structure which they house the school in, and most of it's pretty remote. It's pretty remote and it's pretty isolated. Yeah.
Pretty out there and pretty alone, and it sounds like you're going to have some huge challenges to deal with. Yeah. Well, Dr. Ridley, I have to thank you for coming on the show today. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me. We're pretty excited about this, and we look forward to it.
Oh, of course. I wish you the best of luck.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome back. Before the break, we had asked, what is the largest country that borders Bangladesh? The answer is India. Joined now in studio by two senior engineering majors. Am I wrong?
Business major, Matt.
Business major. Okay.
Gotta give respect.
Gotta give respect. All right. I have to ask, how did each of you become involved in this project?
Well, for me, I'm a senior electrical engineer. It was just, for senior projects, as Dr. Ridley was saying, they kind of just lay out different projects for you, and you pick which one seems most interesting to you, the one that you feel like you would want to work the most with. And when I saw alternate source for Bangladesh, I said, hey, another country, foreign affairs, it sounds pretty neat, and it sounded the most electrically involved, so I jumped on it.
That sounds incredible, actually. So you basically volunteered.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't want to pass up this opportunity.
No, it sounded like an incredible opportunity.
How did you find yourself getting involved?
I actually, to start it, I got kicked out of a finance class. First day, the teacher kicked me out and said you need to find a new course to get your finance minor. It's too easy. All right. Thank you, Dr. Mattis. But I went and talked to my advisor, Dr. Edmonds, and she had the perfect class for me, knew exactly which assignment she wanted me to do, and put me on the team. And it just so happened that the team was all my friends, because I used to be an engineer.
Okay.
So it was all my old friends from engineering, and the rest is history.
Sounds good. Now, Dr. Ridley had mentioned responsibilities of the engineering majors. What do you feel your responsibilities are for this trip?
Responsibilities are endless for this trip. It started with first designing the project, and it moves to we worked with the entire school and even outside companies to get it shipped over there on time. Again, endless responsibilities, custom clearances, shipping, actually designing. There was a lot involved in the project in a short period of time, but we all came together and finished it up.
Sounds incredible. Now, is there a contact that you have in Dhaka? Who has been providing details on this trip, the importance?
So it all started actually through, I believe Dr. Ridley had said, our connection through the distance learning. Ty Fredrickson is his name. He visits Gush Khandi regularly. He goes over there with different groups of students, either to study or I believe he takes his son at times. I'm not sure if his wife is gone, but is his wife gone?
Yeah, she is gone too.
Wife is gone, his son, so he goes over there regularly. The village is somewhat of a family to him, and he talked to the higher-ups here at school, and through the ladder came down to us that we got presented this project. So now we are in regular contact with Ty through email, web chat, to get the details, to get anything we potentially need.
Yeah, be prepared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are there any faculty members who will be joining you specifically through your majors, through your parts of the department?
Dr. Kaleem is he's the faculty member traveling with us.
Okay.
He's been by our side throughout this entire thing. He helped with every ounce of this project. He was up on the roof in snow and 0 degrees weather helping us out. He's helped us ship, and he is going to continue on travel with us and help us to finish this project out.
Okay. What do you both find to be the biggest challenge in going to, as Dr. Ridley mentioned, a fourth world country?
Ladies before gentlemen.
There's a lot of change. There's a lot to get ready for. I mean, even just getting shots to prepare for the different illnesses over there. The biggest thing with it being fourth world is probably the living arrangements there.
Definitely.
The most inconvenient is probably the toilet. I mean, over there, it is literally just, there's walls around it like a shed, and it's a small hole in the ground about this big.
Oh.
And that one toilet's used by the 500 students at the school. So now it's the 500 students plus us. That would be the biggest issue probably. They also warned us sleeping arrangements. You're going to have bugs crawling all over you, mice crawling all over you. It's a great wake-up call to what we're actually doing with this project and how Wilkes is really helping out this country that's so underdeveloped.
Yeah.
I have to go against that. I was a Boy Scout, and I've been camping, and I'm used to the.
So you're ready to be prepared.
Yeah, middle of the wilderness. That's good. Be prepared. I actually found the hardest thing is the fact of going, not going, going, not going, going. It's like our lives. Like we were ready to go on the trip. We were 2 hours from leaving, and we were told not to go. Well, now we're packed. You know, we've gotten everything in order, told our families, well, now our lives have to be switched around again.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go again, and then our lives have to get switched around again. It's like, I would do anything for this trip. It means a lot to me. So it's not a question of whether or not I would do it. It's just not a pain. It's just difficult to keep jumping around. It's hectic, moving class work and trying to juggle everything. That would be the hardest for me.
It's hectic, but the change is inevitable, and it's going to be completely worth it.
Exactly.
Now, what are you most looking forward to experiencing in Bangladesh?
Go for it.
Most looking forward to experiencing. Honestly, I'm very, very much looking forward to when everything's said and done. We finally just put up the shed. It's there. you're looking at it. We just, turn the solar panels on, get everything powered up. We maybe get a little juice of power, and just to see the reactions, not the actual shed and there, but see the reactions of the people. They're so excited for us to come over there.
Oh, I can
They have,
imagine.
I got word of they supposedly have some sort of small little welcoming for us when we get there. And they sent us pictures of the shipment actually there, and they're all over it, and the kids are waving to us. It's going to mean a lot to them to see this thing built over there. And after the efforts we've put in, it's time. We're ready for it.
You'll be changing the lives of this
Exactly.
remote village, and they'll be forever grateful. Sounds like you have your work cut out for you, and it's going to be worth it in the end.
Exactly.
Now, the nature of this what exactly is the nature of this project? As you'd mentioned, it's supplying energy, basically, to this village so that they can connect with the rest of the world. Is there anything else more to it?
No, it's just an alternate energy source. I mean, they're very underdeveloped. They're very remote. It's trying to plan around and bring. It's not just bringing energy and bringing electricity to the village. It's bringing them knowledge. This is going to open up a whole nother world for them and really help them to develop along with the rest of the world around them. It's really opening their eyes and giving them all this information that they never had access to before.
Yeah. Well, the rewards, as I've mentioned, are going to be fantastic. I'd like to thank my two student guests for coming in today. We're going to move right along to our third and final trivia question of tonight's show.